Hey everyone, it's Mark Sargent, and this is Flat Earth Q&A emails number 37, I think it's 37, where you email me your questions at msargent23@comcast.net, and if I can't read them on Strange World, which is currently on Tuesday nights on Truth Frequency Radio, I will do a separate email thing like I'm doing right now, so let's get right to it. First question is called Nuremberg Celestial Event Looks Like Star Wars. Mark, I learned of the Nuremberg Celestial Event from listening to your shows. I looked up the wood carving and something rather interesting struck me. These celestial objects look like simplified renderings of various vehicles from Star Wars films. In particular, the large angular object looks like the Super Star Destroyer. Other shapes remind me of X-Wing and B-Wing fighters. I've been looking into time travel theories lately, and it seems to me that the similarity is uncanny. Either someone went back in time and showed Star Wars films to someone in Nuremberg, and someone tried to depict it in the wood carving, or Lucas got the idea for his ships from it, or it's a coincidence. So actually there's three things. And yeah, what he's talking about is the greatest UFO sighting of all time, which most people don't even know it even exists, which is called the 1561 Nuremberg event, a fantastic event that happened over Nuremberg, Germany in early April on a beautiful cloudless day, and the two giant armadas went at it toe for a full hour, and then finally a third faction came in, one single giant black angular craft, and after, a full hour. So yeah, they didn't have flash photography back then, or any photography for that matter, but what they did have was sketch artists, and they had people sketch out the entire thing and turned it into a wood carving. You can look it up on Wiki. It's beautiful if you know what you're looking at. So thanks for asking that. Next one's called Flat Earth Connection Dating App. Hi, Mark. Appreciate all the work you are doing daily for Flat Earth. We are representing our brand new, hot off the press Flat Earth Connection app called FE Love. You can find it on YouTube. All you have to do is look up FE Love. This was created in service to the community to assist people in connecting. Feel free to mention it on your shows. Thank you, the FE Love team. Yeah, you bet. I heartily endorse this product and or event, especially if it's flat earth. This one's called New Rant. Please read. It's a real email, no BS. Okay. Hello, sir. This is Will again. I had a long rant the other day, and I thought I might share it with you. This email shows how I ripped a ball earther apart by using his own religious beliefs to prove our point of flat earth. I didn't use math. I didn't use any visual aids. I appealed to his intellect. I'll try to explain real quick. Geocentric equals the earth is the center of the universe. Everything spins around us. God made the heavens and the earth. It didn't say in the Bible anything about galaxies, this universe, that universe, everything revolving around the sun. No, it said the exact opposite. Heliocentric means everything revolves around the sun, orbits the sun is the center of the universe. We are a tiny planet amongst many planets in the midst of many galaxies, all generated from an accidental cosmology called the Big Bang. It's all an accident. There is no God, and the Bible is just some random history book. Excuse me. It's out of date and wrong. Bible refers to a flat earth with a domed firmament over us, protecting us from the waters above and the waters below. The sun and the moon are placed inside the firmament as well as all the stars, and they provide light as well. Wow, excuse me. Had a cookie. As well as navigational aids, hence why we see the same stars in the same location of the sky for thousands of years. Well, if we are the ones moving through space at hundreds of thousands of miles per hour and rotating on our axis while orbiting the sun, that shouldn't, couldn't, and wouldn't happen. They would be out of our view after so many years and would constantly be in a different part of the sky night after night, eventually going out of sight completely, but that's not what occurs. Look up at Polaris North Star and watch a video of it, fixed in our sky with all the other stars spinning around it. Space isn't real. NASA and science lie over and over. They give CGI pictures of Earth, all rendered images, photoshopped and copy-pasted bullcrap. It's all a fallacy. The water, the land, herb, grass, fruit, all that was here in the first 3 days, the sun and the moon and the stars were placed inside the firmament on the fourth day. What were we revolving around prior to the sun being made? Big Bang starts from stars, flat earth starts with God. You can't believe both, so pick one. Life was already being supported. Without the sun, it is for navigation and seasons and for light. God made two lights. The second is the moon, the lesser light, to rule the night. Look, Helios is the sun god. Mainstream science is freaking dumb. Fact is, if you think we travel through space originating from some cosmic explosion, then you don't believe in how God told us how the earth was made. So if you don't believe in the creation of this place, like it says in Genesis, then how do you say you believe in God at all? Oh, and by the way, we just travel through this dark space. Have you ever thought about what happens if space just magically ended? Or do you really believe it's infinite? Somehow people don't think. Yep, it's infinite nothingness. Yeah, right. But the people that wrote it were human, and it was thousands of years ago. Okay, so what? The science books were written by humans too. I'll take the word of humans that were speaking the words of God over humans that are believing in their own knowledge. Don't you dare say they were dumb and uneducated back then. They made the pyramids, and to this day we still can't conceptualize as how they were made, or for what exact reason. They were smarter than we are and more in touch with this world. Nowadays, we are in touch with our own wants and needs as humans. We have been taken over by materialism and heathenism. So why believe in what another human tells you? Believe in me and make every man a liar. Not my words, those are his words. The devil works through man, right? Well, space isn't real, and all he wants to do is to ascend into heaven like he said he would, using us to do it, deceiving us of where we live, how it was made, and the entire creation of this earth. Somehow you all will wake up. I know you will. He wants to ascend. I'm reading this as is, guys. And be like the Most High. Space is all bullcrap. I'm trying to help you guys. If you don't want to hear it, that's on you. I didn't just have these epiphanies and start acquiring this type of knowledge for no reason. I was led to this info. Open your eyes. Cognitive dissonance is real. Feel it, deal with it. Open your mind and quit being so closed in your thoughts of what is and isn't. If space and multi-universes and the Big Bang is what people believe, those people will probably not be in heaven because they don't believe in God. It's that simple. All people will believe this are in major trouble, but they don't know it. All too often, people believe in man's knowledge. Making clones, animals that aren't even born from another animal are being made in labs. Man is trying to be God. Break your chains and set your minds free, people. They teach us in school that we evolved from apes. So what the hell are the apes we have today? They must be the apes that didn't evolve yet. Stupid humans. Somehow Darwinism equals dumb humans incapable of thinking on their own. Just forget about Adam and Eve. We came from apes. A big bang, star explosion, Earth is now formed. Not God creating it in 6 days and resting on the 7th. Nope. All life here is because of an accident. A star explosion. Everything coming from nothing. Somehow I'm scared of people's inability to see anything without blinders on. They did a real good job brainwashing most of us. Not me, though. If people can't figure out why this deception should matter, then I can't do a damn thing for them. Thanks, Mark. I told you I wouldn't be on this path without watching your documentary a couple of months back. I was led to your info and you helped open my eyes. Once again, thank you so much. Will from Columbus, Ohio. Thanks, Will. It's kind of a longer one, but you know what? He stayed on point and I stayed with it. This one's called QA Mailbag 34, Heat Loss in Space. Hi, several emails are concerned that in the standard model, heat from the sun does not dissipate despite the coldness of the vacuum. In order to lose heat, it must transfer the energy to something else, but in a vacuum, there is nothing to transfer to. Therefore, it arrives at the Earth's atmosphere without a loss of energy. This part of the standard model is sound, and I don't see how Flat Earth can attack it. What we need to focus on is why is the moonlight cold? It should have essentially the same features of sunlight since it is reflected sunlight. This is simple, easily verifiable test that can be repeated around the world and will force mainstream science to either reassess their whole model or create some kind of new science to explain it. Thanks, Jack Frost. And what he's referring to, for those of you who are new, is the moonlight is generating some sort of refrigerating light. That's no joke. So if it's cooler in the shade than in the sunlight, it should be the same for the moonlight, at least by at least a fraction, but it's actually the opposite. So if it's 50 degrees in the moonlight, it's actually 60 degrees or more in the moon shade. We've seen up to 12, 13 degree swings Fahrenheit. How is that possible? The only way we can generate, this is not an impossible technology. We can do this ourselves. It's called a refrigerating laser, and we can generate this now, a laser beam that generates a cold light. The bigger question is, why is the moon generating a refrigerating penetrating laser spectrum. Does that prove a flat Earth? No, it doesn't. But it absolutely puts into question the relationship between the sun and the moon, meaning the moon now, it's not reflecting the sun at that point. People wonder why the moon's so bright. Yeah, it's its own light. It's a lesser light. It is a self-contained, self-illuminated, whatever it is up there. So thank you, Jack Frost, for that, clearing that up. This one's called It's Flat. Hi, Mark. I don't know where to... Okay, so he wants me to read the first section, not the second section. Okay, I'm going to read the first section. Hi, Mark. I don't know where to begin. I'm starting this email for the 10th time in the last couple of weeks and for some strange reason can't get it finished. First, I would like to apologize for reacting the same way as everyone else. I laughed. I thought I'm smarter than that, and all people believing Earth is flat are a bunch of lunatics with no brain. Like you, I was into conspiracy theories, so naturally, flat Earth videos were popping up on my screen here and there. I don't remember what video I watched, but it introduced to me some questions I had never asked. The more questions I got, the more I was realizing official answers are untrue or just plain stupid. Natural progression by elimination. I know only 2 people who are into the flat Earth and it feels a little lonely and overwhelming at times. I would appreciate if you could read on air this URL. Okay, it is bit.ly/itsflat. It's a sign-up page to a Slack group I just created. It would be great to get a few people together and be able to chat. I know there are hangouts, but my time zone and my work and family commitments make it impossible for me to join any of those. A chat with an archive is perfect, as I can read, respond after a couple hours, and have some community to be part of. You know, I didn't even think about the people in Australia. It's a good point, because everybody that's doing the chats nowadays are either in North America or they're in Europe. I was into conspiracy theories, especially around space, so Nibiru, secret space program, and all that stuff. I was hoping for a disclosure, hoping for a big change that would make all this fighting, greed, and suffering obsolete. When I finally admitted to myself there is no chance Earth is round and there is no chance we've been in space, I got depressed. Flat Earth doesn't prove the dome, it only proves we know much less than we thought. But if we are under the dome, that proves someone or something created it, and that gives back this layer of something more than here and now. We won't have an alien disclosure, at least not the real one, but maybe we will have a flat Earth one. Keep up the good work. That's from David. Dawood, I think. And he doesn't want me to read the lower section, so I won't. Oh, it's Dawood, D-A-W-I-D. He's down in Australia. That's awesome. Thank you, and hopefully you listen to that. This one's called... Is this also... It's okay. This one is called Okay, It's Flat. Mark, I jumped on a ticket to the convention in November. Hope it is still on because I haven't received any feedback or tickets. Well, no, you're not going to get... We don't actually send you physical tickets. You just show up. As long as you got a register... Well, I wonder if you got an email. Well, it doesn't matter. Make sure, contact the... go to fe2017.com and make sure you got a confirmation email when you ordered the tickets. My question for your show, unless it's already been asked, is if the moon is in the firmament, why couldn't man go to the moon? Isn't the hard shell beyond the firmament, or are there 2 shells, one between Earth and the heavenly bodies, and one between the heavenly bodies and the throne? Just asking Donald Ray. And Donald, think of it this way. If you're in a planetarium and you're looking up at the moon, could you land a drone on it? No. And you say, well, the drone's too big. Well, okay, let's say it's really, really small. Could you still land a drone on it? Maybe, I'm not sure. Well, think about the NASA guys. Why would you even try to land something on it if you weren't even sure what it was? I mean, yeah, they might have fired something into it, maybe, or maybe they didn't and they couldn't make it. Either way, it's a dicey proposition. At best case scenarios, even that sucker is 30 miles wide. Who says it's physical enough to land on? Who knows what sort of gravity force is on it? I don't know if I'd try. I mean, the first thing I would do is try to fire a probe at it. Unmanned probe. See if I could tag it. And once I tagged it, I'd put gravity sensors on it, the whole 9 yards, and it's like, okay, find out one, if it's 3-dimensional at all. Is it a solid object? And what orientation is the gravity? And is it enough to even hold people? I'm sure, again, they've tried all the options at this point. This one's called, I just watched Ascension on Netflix. Wow. Mark, Ascension is basically a sequel to The Truman Show. It's the same concept. The creator of the show must have watched The Truman Show and wanted to make a sequel to Too Bad Ascension got canceled. They always cancel good shows. Yeah, Ascension was a 6-part miniseries about how, and I think it was actually based off of the British punk punked version of space, which was called Space Cadets, where they took people and pretended to put them through an astronaut training program. But the key was they put them into a space simulator, didn't tell them it was a simulator, and they thought they were really in a rocket going up in space. And of course, the key is you have to have a few actors. You can't have them all, a few professionals there to make it seem more real. But Ascension was a fictional version of that where they wanted to test astronauts. I'll give a spoiler for it because you really should watch it if you get a chance. Download it from Netflix or whatever. Where they wanted to test the long-term effects of space. It's still a space reinforcement show, but the simulation aspect is really, really good, which is, okay, I mean, we're talking long-term, like generations of people, like families living in space, like a space arc that's going for a long way. Well, in order to make it real, you can't tell them that it's a simulation. So these families lived for decades in a government simulator so they could find out how these people would really freak out. Because until you put people under real stressful situations, how do you really know they're going to act? Because if they know they're in a simulator, eventually it's like, hey, I changed my mind. Can I get out of the simulator? But if you don't know, if you think you're on a real rocket, well, then you're on a real rocket, and you're gonna act as such. And that's the whole premise behind Ascension. But you don't know that until the end of the first episode. So it's brilliant. You got to check it out if you get a chance. Ascension. So thanks for mentioning that. I actually included one of these. In fact, I loved Ascension so much I included it as one of the intros for a Strange World show, or a closing credit thing on a Strange World show, and they didn't smack me too much for copyright. This one's called, check this out, North Korea subbed you. Mark, I think someone from North Korea subscribed to you. Check out the screenshot. There is a way to check for sure. Go to your view analytics, view all of them, then go to geographies. Then at the top, click on lifetime. See if North Korea is blue on your view map, or if someone from that country viewed your videos. It's very possible. Why not? The flat Earth is a universal thing. And I don't mean that like there's a universe, but it is appeals to everybody, which is why we have people. That's why this thing is spreading in all. Remember, I did a video just recently, not just the English versions. There's flat Earth videos made in all sorts of different languages all the time. It's not exclusive to us, and that's because it's not an American conspiracy. There are plenty of other space programs out there from all the major industrialized nations. So it's not like 9/11 where people in other countries like, yeah, I could take it or leave it. No, this is one for everybody, which is why it's gaining traction. There's no demographic it doesn't touch. There's no country it doesn't touch. Love it. Okay, this one's called Unintended Evidence for Flat Earth. Hi, Mark. I'm currently watching your YouTube video, Under the Dome. What he means is, by the way, it's the Under the Dome full documentary, which is my stuff, but it is on a completely different channel. I think it's got 2.5 million hits or more than that. And I'm glad. Hey, great. Fantastic. All more for the community. I've always enjoyed conspiracy ideas and believe a lot of them. Like you mentioned in the video, this was one subject you shrugged off. I did too until a couple months ago. I was like, I got to see what these people are saying because surely this is silly. Even though I already didn't believe in the moon landing, I at least believed we got a satellite out there far enough to take pictures. Well, after not a lot of research, early in the common sense arguments had already got me thinking, I was really convinced of the flat Earth theory. Well, I came across something this week that was pretty wild. I have one of those VR headsets. One of the apps is called Within, okay? Has this 5-minute video about a private company working on a special balloon-type project to send up capsules for space tours. In the video, the 360 camera is on the test balloon and it goes up 100,000 feet, and you get to take a VR ride along with it. This is by no means a flat Earth video, and that makes what you see when the camera gets up there even more crazy because they unintentionally give you a 360-degree view of the flat Earth. You need to get a VR helmet and check it out. Sincerely, Brian Fife. Awesome. So if anyone has a VR camera or one of those VR headsets, check out the video or the app called Within. I've not seen it, or point to me on YouTube if somebody's recorded it. I know it's not going to be the same on YouTube, but I'd love to check it out. This one's called Moon So Close. Mark, love your show. You're very articulate and entertaining, and the only one my wife actually enjoys. She groans anytime I watch Flat Earth YouTubes. She has a good question. If the moon is only 3,000 miles away, why can't we go there? And who has come the closest? Well, 3,000, just because it's 3,000 miles away doesn't mean you can land, we can land on there no problem. It could be protected. It could have some sort of anti-gravity, anti-physics engine on it, sort of like a soft barrier we do in simulations where all of a sudden you start running into negative gravity where it's pushing against you and you can never reach it. Who knows? Or maybe it's not even solid enough. Maybe when you get up there, it starts getting more and more transparent. By the time you get close enough, it's like, holy smokes, we can't land on this. There's nothing to land on. But what I can tell you at the very least is its own light source. It's self-illuminated. So if you think we're going to be landing on some big glowy thing device, well, I mean, yeah, we probably take a couple of cracks at it, but we're not going to be telling anybody. And which also begs the question, when the astronauts, and I think Orphan Red was one of the people that mentioned this, when they landed on the moon, the Americans, they were walking around this gray, ashy area. It was dark and brooding, and the tones were very, very muted. But when we look at the moon, it's super, super bright and glowy, especially a full moon. So, in fact, I can't even look at a full moon when I'm using night vision binoculars. So why weren't the astronauts in some really cool, glowy environment when they were up there? What were they on? And people say, oh, well, no, it looks different. It's like, really? Because it didn't seem to be reflecting anything when they were up there. I mean, at all. So interesting. And I'm glad, by the way, your wife likes my stuff. Thank you. In fact, maybe, you know what? I will put this in the pile because I will respond to him and say, hey, it's going to be this. I'm going to read this for your wife in the next show. This one's called Watching the Wheels. Hey, Mark, I was listening to John Lennon's Watching the Wheels and realized the whole song from the beginning to end is about his failed attempts to convey flat earth truths. Okay. I'm curious. The lyrics go something like this. I'm just sitting here watching the wheels go round and round. The wheels are the star trails. No longer riding on the merry-go-round is the ball earth. People think I'm crazy doing what I'm doing, preaching flat earth. Well, I tell them there's no problems, ball earth anomalies, only solutions, flat earth facts, etc. Google the lyrics. I know you'll see it. P.S. Nice work with 4 exclamation points. Tim in Barrington, New Hampshire. Thanks, Tim. It's awesome. This one's called Quick Question. I like Quick Question. Hey, Mark, I love the Strange World part of your website. Awesome stuff. Anyway, I don't want to waste your time with praise, but do you know if it's possible for me to download these Strange World shows on an SD card so I can listen on my phone? I'm burning up my data on my phone. I would usually listen to work on my phone. I have a computer at home, but I do so much on my phone. He should say phone more. Phone. Just wanted to know if it's doable. I figured you would know before I spend some time trying to at home on the computer. I don't need to know. Oh, he sent that a while ago too. I'm really sorry. I don't need to know how anything. Just wondering if it can be done. Thanks for what you do, and sorry if I'm bothering you with nonsense. Thanks, Tom. And Tom, you can absolutely download videos straight to your phone. You don't have to stream them. Which is, you just type in if you look at the web address above, it says, YouTube, the Y in YouTube. Just type in before the Y the letters SS. It'll take you to a different page, and I think it's called savefrom.net or something like that. And I'm not going to do it right while I'm here. But the point is, ignore all the other banners where this says, oh yeah, download this and sign up for that. No. There's a little line there at the top that says download free in browser, in your browser. And you click on that, and then you pick the highest quality, and they say, well, it's not, you still should, it's their free version. They're promoting their paid version, but you want to use the free version is perfectly fine for what you're doing. And then you can just grab that and rip it and put it on your phone. I mean, or you can use, what I do sometimes is I will take a video. If I only want the audio from it, I will use and save from to download the video to my machine. And then I use something called video. In fact, let me look it up real fast. It's called FreeMake Video Converter. And I will convert it from an MP4 to an MP3 and just grab the audio. And then I can use the audio for whatever I want. So, but I will give him those instructions. I will send them to him. This one's called Flat Earth Theme Song. Hi, Mark. I've been following your stuff for going on a year now, and you were instrumental in my awakening to FE. Thank you. Anyway, I wanted to share a song I stumbled across today, and it just struck me as a possible Flat Earth theme song. If you haven't heard it, please check it out when you have a few minutes. I think you'll find it worth your time. Keep up the good fight, brother Brian. And I will click on the link, and the link says it's original. Oh, yeah, Amber Plaster sings the truth. Yep, from Flat Earth Chick. Yep. I already know this one. It's already on my Flat Earth. I remember because I've got a playlist for every year that Flat Earth's been doing music. So I got one for 2015, 2016, and now I've got one we're working on 2017. So that's awesome. Thank you for much for that. This one's called Spirit Level. Hi, Mark. Hope all is well. I recently sent you an email regarding torpedoes, which you kindly aired on the YouTube. I am by trade an aging fitter welder and therefore install all pipework with a spirit level. How can this be done on a ball? No matter how much I look, I cannot see how it can. Regards, Bob. P.S. Keep up the good work. It's flat. Absolutely right. Yep. Whenever you're talking about long distances, the big ones are pipes and railroad tracks, like the Alaskan pipeline. The railroad tracks, you're going to have to adjust for curvature eventually. I mean, yeah, I know the railroad tracks are shorter than the pipe segments, I'm pretty sure, but eventually you're going to have to adjust for the curvature. And as far as I know, it's never ever been done. Highways, same sort of thing. Planes. This email's called Hey, literally called UMMM Hey. There is no content in it. It's just Hey from Christoferg10202. Awesome. I actually saved that one deliberately because every once in a while I'll get one of those, which is just, I responded, I going, and I literally typed in one word, and question mark. This one's called the Clangers Kids Program. Hello, Mark. I've been a flat earther for over 3 years now and love the stuff you put out there. I used to watch a kids programming, LOL. That's funny. Good. Called the Clangers when I was a kid. I've never heard of the Clangers, and I've watched a lot of cartoons. I recently looked at the first episode on YouTube for some reason and found two good clues, at 25 seconds and at 49 seconds. I like the second one, The Stars of the Firmament. Since I've been a flat earther, there are many of my friends who have come on board with me, but also have been called a bitter, I don't know. The link to Chain Clangers, the beginning, and you can go to you can go to YouTube. There's an episode there, 25 seconds, 49 seconds, something called Clangers, the beginning. So you guys want to check that out. This one's called Flat Earth Reference by Alex Jones. And 5 minutes in, Alex says your devices so that you know the orbit of the sun. And it's the Alex Jones episode, Secrets of the Antichrist AI Takeover Plan from May 9th. All right, got that. People send me references all the time. Love them. I check them out whenever I can, as long as I have time. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. This one's called Cockpit Cam. Hi, Mark. Always listening and checking your channel. Here in Australia, we have some 75 dome restaurants, literally called domecoffees.com. Each one of them has a dome ceiling with a flat earth depicted on it. As you can see at the start of this YouTube video called, and I will click on the little YouTube video, called Dome Cafe Bahrain video. And yes, I'll be darned. Above the baristas is a flat earth map. I'll be darned. That's awesome. As you can see, there's a roof over the O in dome as well. Check out the coffee beans they sell though. Half a cup showing the bottom half of the globe, and then the dome sits over the top. But yeah, it's in your face. We told you, but you didn't understand. Regards, Rick in Perth, Australia. That's great. That's really, really cool. Let's check that out when you get a chance. Google Ball. This one's called Google Ball Propaganda 2000 through 2017. Hey Mark, I've been researching flat earth since your first clue. I've been awake now for about 10 years. Any advice on how to get more views on to my channel and materials such as tags or keywords? Keeping it flat from the hills of the Ozarks. Thanks and God bless, Jim. And I will click on his channel called Flat Earth Google Ball Earth Propaganda 2000. Well, okay, a couple things. Yeah, Sleep No More is actually not a bad name for the channel. You'd probably want to open up your comments though. That's what I would do. You got 45 views on this sucker, and I know you're not going to like the trolls, but build the channel through putting a mission statement in the about. Maybe I'll respond to him. I'll shoot a thing and get back to him on that. This one's called Reese at P2P, the Chris Fade Show. Hey Mark, Chris Fade sent me the radio interview. Nice job. Not easy when you don't have long, but I bet thousands of people started searching YouTube after that interview. Awesome exposure. I'm a massive follower of your work, and your flat earth clues were the doorway into this crazy conspiracy. What is the one flat earth clue that was the one that made you decide the world is flat? Kind regards and keep up the great work. Rees Hammer. Prepared to perform Dubai. Perform or reform? I think it was reform Dubai. If I don't, it doesn't really matter. I will shoot him a thing, and the big kicker for me probably was the Richard Byrd story, where he was down in Antarctica for the better part of his life, better part of 30 years. And then he, probably the man that was most instrumental in doing the whole, starting the ball rolling on the Antarctic Treaty. He was the one that discovered all the stuff down there, and then everyone left the ice, and then he died in 1957. It was Admiral Byrd. The footage from the CBS show, the CBS affiliate, where you can look it up online. It's brilliant. Where he was interviewed on the CBS show, The Long Jeans Chronoscope, in 1954, up here in the United States. That was the thing that turned me. But I'll write him back. back and let him know. This one's called Sun and Moon and SpaceX. Hi, Mark. First, I apologize for my English. I'm from Quebec, and I'm not perfectly bilingual yet. First, thanks to you, I'm a proud flat earther now. I was thinking about your concept of a big planetarium, and I don't understand how a projection can generate the heat of the sun or the coolness of the moon. Could you please explain your theory about it? It's going to be both. The heat of the sun, look, you put a light bulb in a lizard's cage. That light bulb is going to generate a lot of heat. Even if the sun is, let's say it's less than 40 miles wide, let's say it's 30-something miles wide. If it's just generating heat, I mean, you can generate a lot of heat from something that's 30 miles wide over a series of hours. Plus, you're going to combine that with a lot of heat between the jet stream up above and the underwater conveyor system below and the magma system below that. You're going to be generating heat below as well. It's not like the ground is freezing when the sun leaves. It's still pretty warm. In fact, isn't there like a standard temperature when you get underground, like caves? All caves are like 50-something degrees Fahrenheit, 57, I believe, 56. I'm not going to look up right now. So not that hard. And the coolness of the moon, same sort of thing. Again, same size objects. Why couldn't it? Anyway, second, about SpaceX. I'm agreeing that it's a big scam, but I've seen some videos clearly showing the moon with clouds behind. So it tells me that the moon is very near. So could it be possible to get there like they want to do? I know this is not a sphere, but if it's a kind of machine and not a projection, it could be possible to turn around. Tell me what you think. We know that the moon is not where they've told us, so where is it? I'm a big fan. I love your work. I hope I'll be able to go to the convention. Thanks, John Desso. And the convention he's talking about, of course, is the Flat Earth International Conference in Raleigh, North Carolina, which is coming up in the second week of November of 2017. And when it comes to SpaceX, no. The SpaceX putting tourists around the moon, that's not going to happen. If it is really that close, then you're not going to be able to fake a mission. That's the last thing you're going to do is try to fake a mission around an object that all the physics behind it are completely different than what we've been told. No, you've got to fake it entirely. You're not going to just fake part of it, because remember, if it's 200-something thousand miles away, if that's what they say it is, then what are you going to do with all the time between now and then? How are you going to slow everything down? It's never going to work. You're going to have to fake the entire thing from start to finish, from cradle to grave, and it's not going to happen. They're going to kick that can down the road. It is not going anywhere. This one's called Spotted Another Bubble During a Spacewalk Live Yesterday. Okay. Was watching the boring ass NASA live stream yesterday and couldn't believe my eyes. Go to about an hour and 42 seconds. Excuse me. And watch from there, dude. He actually called me dude. I've seen some things, bro, but this is not debatable. Let me know if you want me to call the show. I also have a great way of explaining how gravity doesn't exist to people who can't grasp it. And no, it's not electromagnetism holding us down either. Later, man. Steve from Philly. And the video he's talking about, I will click on it. The video he's talking about is called the EVA 3031 GoPro Spacewalk ISS EVAs with astronaut Terry Virts. That's weird. It was published on May 7th, 2017, but Terry Virts, it has 2015 NASA next to it. During a spacewalk, blah, blah, blah. Whatever. Yeah, it could actually be a space bubble. Why not? I think the CGI stuff is better example though right now. This one's called Realistic Demonstration in the Future. Hey Mark, the Morgile brought up a good point about the 1983 Challenger video. It was that a reflection of someone, someone filming a TV back in the day to capture the show, you'd be able to see the rest of the guy's face on top of the shuttle doors. But the way the man's chin seems to go behind the side of the shuttle points to the more likely scenario that the guy was somewhere near the miniature model where he was directly behind it or not is up for grabs. I listened to your interview with The Talks, THA Talks, UK. Those two were very interested in Flat Earth. Yes, they were. I am thinking that the most feasible experiment demonstration that could be done would have to be two icebreaker ships start out at some point with the shore of Antarctica in sight and travel in opposite directions until they meet again. Also, we may be able to calculate where they are in relation to the continents as they travel. Not sure if there is a way to triangulate their locations apart from GPS. May have to use shortwave or ham radio for communication communicating in order to actually determine distances from sea to land as they voyage. We could determine a rough calculation of nautical miles, not sure what military presence they would encounter as they traveled. Also, why do you think they, the news, keep talking about passengers getting kicked off airlines? They had the CEO of United Airlines testify on Capitol Hill. I mean, give us a break. Why would he need to talk to the federal government about kicking someone off the plane? The stage is being set for something. Mike in Minnesota. Good point. Will there be a day that we won't be able to allow, they won't allow spirit levels on planes? Hard to say. This one's called Kids Language Book. Question, and there's question 2. I wonder if they know something. And it's from B. Farnsworth. I will take a look when I get a chance. Promise. This one's called Some Answers. Not for YouTube. Not for YouTube. Okay. Then if you remember, that's the good way to put it. If you don't want me to read it on there, then just put that in the thing and I'll read it later. This one's called New World Order. New World Order. In the school books, we are told they discovered America. They called it the New World. Discovering a new flat Earth would be like discovering a new world. I think this is why they call it the New World Order. They will make the truth known and control accordingly. This idea came to me after listening to all 3 podcasts of Empty Shelves. I am now listening to Strange World episode Flat Earth. Anyways, I wanted to say hello, and the solar company I work for just opened in Denver. Shout out to Cam Solar. I'm sure. Stay flat. Oh, that's awesome. This one's called Flat Earth Debate. Mark, what are the details of this debate challenge with Jeffrey Grupp? What are the parameters of the debate? I have a master's in computer science from Stanford and consider myself an expert in flat Earth arguments. I can't be certain, but I don't think there exists a flat Earth argument in the modern version of the theory that I couldn't thoroughly debunk. Maybe your friend can disabuse me of that. I have never used that word before in my life. Disabuse. But depending on the details, I'd be willing to mix it up. Are there any details? The only debates I've seen done are the ones that Red's Rhetoric does, and okay, let's be honest, that one dude alone is enough to make me wish I could believe in the flat Earth. I don't want to end up anything that looks or sounds like what those guys do. The one thing I see that seems dumb if the goal is to discover truth is that there's no attempt to constrain the debate. They don't seem to have any kind of argument sharing, so the debates devolve into disbelieving evidence, dismissing things as lies and other silliness. Ideally, the 2 sides would have pre-agreed on the list of topics to be debated so that both sides can bring as much strength as possible. Having said that, some people are nervous about allowing a situation where the most powerful arguments can be made, so I'd be willing to do it blind too. What are the details? I should add, I have no cash in the debate. I don't make videos. The only reason for me to do it is that I can claim that I know the FE side backwards and forwards and know what's wrong with all the arguments. Scott Veach. P.S. I caught this guy's name is Jeffrey. Who is he exactly? A video maker? Just a random friend who's quick on his feet? No, it's Jeffrey Grupp. He's got multiple master's degrees and his video channel is called Zeteticism.com. He's a full-blown flat earther. He's been interviewed several times on this subject, and he's probably the biggest brain in flat earth right now. But I'm sorry, a computer science master's degree isn't enough. It's computer science. Fine. That doesn't mean physical science. It just means you're good at computers. And I understand you're probably a big science believer, subscribe to the NASA channel, and again, I'm not trying to offend, but you got to have something out there. Have a debunk website. At least have a YouTube channel where you've made anti-flat earth videos, because otherwise people are going to want to know who we're going up against. And if you have arguments, honestly, if you feel strongly enough about them, start a YouTube channel up. See if you can shut down flat earth. You're not going to be able to do it. Hasn't been done, and it's been pushing 2 years now since this thing's really been rolling. It just keeps getting bigger and bigger and weirder and stranger. And if you think you're going to come in now and shut it down, better have tried and failed. But by all means, do try to do something. But no, you got to have you've got to have a little bit more than that, a little more substantial background if you're going to go up against Jeffrey Grupp or anybody for that matter. There's plenty of people that, heck, if you want to have some fun, you want to debate against flat earth, you can go into any flat earth hangout. They're running pretty much 24/7 now and engage in chat or in live audio and watch what happens. You will be surprised, and not in a pleasant way. Sorry, I worked out before this. My throat's a little dry, and so I'm drinking iced tea as fast as I can, and trying to recover. Probably should not work out before I do these. Anyway, this one's called What's Next? Dear Mark Sargent, it would be interesting to get your take on what happens when the flat earth is realized, when critical mass is achieved in the population. How will it go down? What would be the sequence of events? It would be a damn good movie. That's from Dusty. And his quote is, "Truth would quickly cease to be stranger than fiction once we got as used to it." Yes, you're absolutely right. It really depends how it's released. That's what it comes down to. This thing could literally have the potential to, and I have not joked about this, create a new golden age, or in the same circumstances, burn the whole thing to the ground. It really depends how it's released to the public. You could do it really softly and try to spin it into a wonderful thing, or you could turn it into a sinister conspiracy where nobody trusts anybody, and then you have people with pitchforks and torches walking through the streets. Nobody wants the latter, but it's very possible. And regardless of how it's released, there's still going to be some people that aren't going to be able to take it. And I'm going to warn people now of that. There is going to be a certain segment of the population, maybe it's less than 1%. Hopefully it's somewhere in the low single digits, but that just won't be able to take it. They will have some sort of breakdown. That's just, it's a given. And I'm not just talking about the people that have master's degrees in physical science, geology, biology, hydrology, astronomy, astrophysics. Those people are doomed because it's too big. It's too big for them, and these are the same people who say, well, there's got to be a logical explanation for everything. And the logical explanation here is, well, yeah, you were lied to and you bought it like everybody did. The difference is that when the truth finally comes out to you, it's going to shatter your paradigm so badly that it's going to make Neo in the Matrix, when he lost it and started swinging, it's going to make his reaction look rather tame compared to what you're going to do. This one's called "The Rumor Mill Reports Love Child." Mark, I am not one to spread rumors, but the net, do people actually say that? The net says you and Neil deGrasse Tyson, at least your genes, were implanted into some woman, and now there is a baby boy working for NASA. This is actually the email. Like, really hard against you and all other flat earth type people. He is about 17 years old, or so they say. This is widely reported among Bigfoot researchers. Oh, I see where he's going here. Who report this young man is very hairy, sort of dark-skinned, well-spoken, and has been seen out in the woods of Washington and various other places. Some say he is just looking for his father. This isn't even a troll. I've gotten emails from this guy before. It's so funny. John. Thank you. I'm not going to say your last name, but it's good. No, I'm not. No. Okay, this one's called ISS Barrel Distortion. Hi, Mark. I was recently watching the purported live ISS Earth feed, and there were two things I wanted to point out. One, the barrel distortion of the Earth's horizon is very evident upon comparing it to the photovoltaic arrays, the solar panels on the ISS, in the same shot. A fisheye lens is not necessary to create this effect and can happen with any lens. Two, in many of these live Earth feeds, the astronauts are now turning the camera around back at themselves in a 360-degree movement. No doubt they've been listening, and I don't want you to think they haven't been attempting damage control with the recent videos they've been releasing. Thanks for all you do for us, Sick Boy. Really? Is that a Ryan Reynolds reference from Van Wilder? Really? Sick Boy? I think that's the first time I heard it. How much more time? Oh, we still got time for 3 or 4 more. This one's called Check Out My New Song, Michael Cusack, Flat Earth Science Fiction. Hi, Mark. Hey, thanks for the PDF you sent me a while back. The link above is my first music video ever. I'm a musician who loves to create original songs. I was inspired by this Flat Earth Truth movement to write a song. I used some of your meme collections on your email videos and your intro sound effects in the song. I didn't think you would mind, but hope you like it. If you think it's too reverby, then let me know. If you got time, it sounds fine in my headphones, but on a laptop, it echoes. Attaching is the mp3 of the song, first version of the song. I talked to Victor Brewer today. He was the guest on Globebusters, who lives in Ohio, is going to have a balloon launch at the end of the month. I'll be going there to witness the launch, so if anybody wants to check out any of the video footage of the launch or check out the music video, have anybody that wants to subscribe to my new YouTube channel, search MC Studios with a Z. P.S. Use what you want. No copy strikes coming from me. I probably wouldn't even have a song or my first video if it wasn't for the Flat Earth Clues. Thanks again. See you at the Flat Earth 2017 convention. Best regards, Michael. And let me click on the video real quick. Make sure his channel's still up. And yes, MC Studios, Flat Earth Science Fiction, Michael Cusack. Cool. Yeah, I will check that out. In fact, I will save that off. Fortunately, I feel bad because I hadn't gotten back to him yet. Takes me a while. I get a lot of emails. Sorry, guys. This one's called Do Not Read on Air. It's been a strange week, and I will not read this on air. Okay. This one's called Strongest Point for Round Earth. can use in any way. Hey, Mark, love your work. I'm just getting into the flat earth, so bear with me if this has been gone over previously. I'm just wondering what facts, tests, or evidence that round earth believers can point to, if any, that gives you the biggest pause in your belief in the flat earth model. Thanks, Matt. The only thing that got me any pause at all, and that's just a brief pause, would be the Antarctic sun, the 24 hours of Antarctic sun. Although there's people who come out and says, look, we still can't find any time-lapse footage, which isn't edited, which is interesting as far as the Antarctic sun goes. So that would be the only thing. I think the cause of the rest of it, when it comes to the sky, anything's possible. Look, it's a planetarium in my model. People that believe in no dome, it's a little tougher for them, but there's a reason why I haven't hesitated when I've been doing this for as long as I have, in that there's almost no holes. And on top of that, we've got so many questions that give them pause. I mean, yeah, they may have 2 or 3 that give us pause, but we've got a slew of things in all different aspects, ground, water, space, organizations, we can give them pause all sorts of ways, which is why science is having a tough time addressing this. This one's called Aristophanes Debunked by David Muniz. Muniz? M-U-N-I-Z. Muniz? I just wanted to share something I wrote on Quora about Eratosthenes. I've got to get used to saying that word. Share it with the community in case they run across someone trying to use that myth. And it's on Quora.com. Why do globeheads continue to use the evidence of a ball Earth that has been debunked and proven false? Okay, that's on Quora.com. Awesome. This one's called Two Moons. And it goes, Mark, so excited about all we can see. Sorry, got to share. The Bible reads clearly every word after we realize the sun goes forth and the moon gives her own light. For the stars of heaven and the constellations thereof shall not give their light. Their understanding, it says stars and constellations. The sun shall be darkened in his going forth. How he, like the bridegroom, moves. See Psalms 19, and goes forth, and the moon shall not cause her light to shine. Not her own light, not caused by her own light, a reflection. Hello, he is telling plainly. I'm not going to differentiate between chapter and verse and what she's saying here, although her stuff seems to be in all caps. Then after you understand it, then read the chapter. Judgment is on the way and NASA is coming down. I just read this correctly. Read this verbatim. Don't add or take away, just as it says. See what it actually says. Revelation 6, this is the 6th seal. They are hiding because they are going to be busted. Stars swept by the dragon's tail. Japan is going to verify the Van Allen belts are impassable. They sent their probes December 2016, got back in January 2017. And the stars of heaven fell unto the earth, even as the fig tree casteth her untimely figs, when she is shaken of a mighty wind. Then the heaven departed as a scroll when it is rolled together, and every mountain and island were moved out of their places. And the kings of the earth, and the great men, and the rich men, and the chief captains, and the mighty men, and every bondman, and every free man, hid themselves in the dens and in the rocks of the mountains. Thank you for all your work, Kathy. I love how Kathy's like, doom. It's a doom. Thanks. Bye, Kathy. Only women can do that. I love that. Okay, we got time for maybe 2 more. This one's from Jennifer Rogers. Hello, Mark Sargent. It's called License Plate. I really like the collection of license plates that you're adding to your pictures on your shows. I would love for you to add ours as well. Thank you for the hard work that you do to get the word out. I would like to add that I am an artist and have started painting custom signboards, flat earth related, and was hoping you might be interested or be able to mention me sometime on your show. Photo attached. Here's my website. It is flatearthart.site. Flatearthart.site. And I'm going to click on it right now. I think I remember this one. I don't know if I brought it up in Patricia's show. And yeah, it's Flat Earth Art. I believe this is the Florida license plate, which is good timing because I'm going to be releasing the June license plates here shortly. And I'm going to do it to the soundtrack of the opening theme for Warriors, the Warriors movie from the 70s, which was a great opening theme. I love that one. So thank you, Jennifer, for that. And yeah, people, please check out Flat Earth Heart, H-A-R-T. Flat Earth Art. Flatearthart.site. Don't want to screw that up. Do we have time for? Yes, we do. This one's called Flat Earth Rejection. I don't think I'm going to end on that one. Hey, Mark, figured out why people get so upset over the flat Earth. It's just like a complete stranger came up to you and saying that you're adopted, and they have proof. Are you going to look at it? Another thought. If NASA, good point. If a stranger came up to you and say you're 35 and said, by the way, you're adopted, and I've got pictures to prove it, or a bunch of circumstantial evidence to prove it, you may not look at it. Are you going to look at it? Another thought. If NASA wanted to send a satellite to take images of the moon transiting the Earth, they don't need to shoot a million miles away from it. If any satellite satellite breaks orbit, remains stationary, the Earth and the Moon would just fly away, and in 14 hours' time would be a million miles away. P.S. Can't seem to find a photo of the Earth transiting the sun anywhere. Best wishes, G.P. Gardner at the flatearth.store. Love how these things are popping up. He sent me the coolest little model, which I'm going to take with me to the conference down in Raleigh, which is a great flat Earth model underneath this magnifying lens. It's basically an enclosed stadium. It's brilliant. I love it. It's tiny. It's about the size of a hockey puck. Oh, let's see. Can we end on this one? This one's called Thank You. All right, let's try this. Good evening, Mark. Just a quick note to say thank you for sharing well-researched content to those who are open-minded enough to question the status quo. I'm originally from South Africa, have recently relocated to England in the UK. In 2001, my wife and I took a direct flight from Johannesburg, South Africa to Sydney, Australia. It was the longest flight ever. Is it possible to get access to the ship's logs of old maritime captains who sailed in the southern hemisphere? I reckon if we could muster a sailing expedition to measure time and distance due west-east of the 60-degree latitude south, we could easily prove the circle navigation is that of a circle larger than the estimated circumference of the Earth of the equator. It's a long version of saying the Antarctic coastline is really, really big, and we've got to figure out a way to go around it. Do you know if this has ever been attempted? In modern day times, no. I do not know anything. This kind regards from Clinton Etheridge, and he's out of the UK. It's an okay one. Probably find a better end on, can't we? This one's called Flat Earth Geology of Lies, and it's a link to a YouTube thing called Flat Earth Geology of Lies from Sleep No More. Thank you for that. Flat Earth Hangouts. I'll send on this one. Hi, Mark. Thank you for the content you put out and for opening my eyes. It's a crazy world we live on. I've heard you mention many times about these Flat Earth Hangouts. I'm a Hangout newbie. I just can't seem to figure it out. I have just downloaded the Android Google Hangout app, but there is no such search function on it to look for different Hangouts to join. Can you please explain to me how to access them in newbie terms? Thanks, D. Yeah, all you have to do is go to YouTube. It's easy. This is really, really easy. We'll end on this video, or on this email. Type in Flat Earth, go into filters, set it to live, and that will show you what's live right now. And usually there's between 4 and 8 Flat Earth Hangouts that are happening. Most of them are in North America or Europe, and you just at that point the links, if you want to join in, you always be able to join in on chat on the right hand side. But if you want to actually join in the conversation, just ask somebody, and they will send you the link, and you'll be able to fire into it from your phone. So that's it. That's all. And again, love the Hangouts. There's so many. The Flat Earth community is monstrous at this point. It's a juggernaut. Somebody try to take it down. I dare you. I really dare you, because at this point it's gotten so huge. It's the giant werewolf when you have no bullets that are silver in your gun. You think you got something, but you don't. Anyway, guys, thank you to everyone that wrote in. Remember, if you want to write in and have me read it on air, all you have to do is send an email to msargent23 at comcast.net. That's msargent23 at comcast.net, and I will either read it on here or I will read it on Strange World. So until then, guys, stay flat.